Good evening, everybody. It's been a while. Um, Sorry I haven't been on lately. I'm not going to be on Instagram very much anyway, as you know. It's just there was a matter that came up that we thought should be um, should be addressed. Has nothing to do with me personally or anybody um, within my personal orbit, but you will see here shortly. How's everybody doing though? I missed everybody. I do communicate with some of you here and there. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so truth about Paschal, it says over here you must upgrade your app in order to join. I tried requesting you. Your app is not updated, so it's not going to work. So how is everybody doing? I've been pretty busy with the house over here. Oh, who do we got on? I don't hear you. Uh-oh. If you could hear me, press 1. If you cannot hear me, if you can't hear me, you can't press anything. If you could hear me, press 1. I need to make sure that you guys could hear me. Okay. All right. So we're good. All right. So I'm going to wait for them to uh, upgrade the app, and probably be a minute. Uh, anybody following this whole issue with Jeffrey and him stating that he's got a stalker? It's kind of funny. All right, here we go. That's a request. There's one request.
Sorry, I was having issues. Hi.
Okay, so welcome back. This is not your first time with me on this particular channel.
Can you believe we're doing this again?
It's kind of stupid, but I'm a little bit blindsided about how I guess this individual. I don't even want to say his name that much because I don't think he deserves the recognition. He's just a real piece of garbage.
Hold on 1 second. If I
there you go.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, look, if you're gonna have this is a good point over here. Hey, Big Jeff, if you're gonna have a stalker, at least have a pretty stalker, right?
All right.
Anyway,
let's get serious.
So you got blindsided, and I was totally shocked about what happened. And I guess you're the best person right now that could explain how things have gone in your life recently.
Yeah, sure.
And the particular threats that were made and doxing once again.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of take the floor on that?
I mean, I don't think anybody that's in here tonight didn't know that it was me coming on after what happened on Saturday night. But if anybody who missed it, he went live and he doxed me again. And he doxed my mother. And he said where we live. I mean, at this stage and where things are, it was unacceptable.
Let me stop you right there. So, there is a reason or a motive for making a live stream. It was 30 minutes long, and it's already been broadcast to 40,000 people. Do you feel like it's some kind of incitement by throwing your information out there and also sticking the name of a stalker with your name and also putting your address out there, your location out there, your mother's information out there? What do you think was the purpose of him doing that?
I mean, I can only speculate, but this week was supposed to be a big week for him, and there was a lot of coverage about it over the last week, and there was a lot of new followers and fans from Brazil and I think Italy. It was just shown in other countries that are just starting to follow him and are unaware of the current charges against him. And I guess maybe he was inundated with people asking him about it, and just like the last time when he did this, it was after something about him became public, and essentially it was what I think is a deflection. Deflect people from reading the factual truth things about you that may not be so great and gain sympathy and be the victim. There's people in his comments that are saying to this man, I'm sorry you have to live in fear. This man is currently out on bail for a violent crime, that he allegedly committed, and he's afraid of me.
That's something that a lot of people have to understand before you take, every word that this person says is as fact. The fact on public record is that he is out on bail and there are charges on him.
Yes.
And I mean, we could always say allegations, back to back, and it's alleged he did this, it's alleged he did that, but in the past there were convictions, right?
I don't really know his criminal history that well. I know the big things that have been majorly publicized.
Well, yeah,
I
that's what I
I
mean. I
know.
mean, there were convictions that he's admitted to. So I mean, this he's not a stranger to being on the wrong side of the law, and now all of a sudden he wants to play the victim. Having a stalker, and he's being followed. What was this other stuff that you were locating him or driving past his house?
Yeah, driving past
That
his
he said on
house,
his.
taking pictures. I think that may be the only things he said I did. I moved to the state and his town to stalk him.
Oh. We talked about that, I think, the last time, right? So
Yes.
do you kind of want to we could summarize this, like compress this kind of like timeline real quick. When did you first start speaking with Jeffrey?
March of, well, I know the day because it was 2 days after my birthday. I was in Florida visiting my mother, and his second episode was on. It was March 15th of 2020. It was right when he posted that photo, that COVID photo with all of the toilet paper and a cigar in his mouth holding the Corona. And I sent him a message that was like, cute pic or something like that. And he responded. And I was like, okay. And then from there, it was every single day, all day. I mean, I said this last time. Every single day, all day.
And you did so. Being a stalker means, I mean, he made it sound like
fatal attraction.
You met him in passing, perhaps, and you had some, like a attraction.
No, he's in stating, or that we never met. That I was just a fan follower, and I tried to, make an advance at him or ask him to be with me or something along those lines, and he denied me. And when he denied me, I went, single white female.
Oh no, he ran you out of town because he was about to file stalking charges.
No, I went crazy, and then I moved to his town to
stalk him.
Yes.
Stalk him.
Yes.
You became his neighbor to stalk him, but in the process of that, so what right-minded person actually goes out and scopes out and actually takes photos and videos for their stalkers moving into the location? Like, can anybody explain, like, if you have a stalker that is a stalker that's already gone crazy on you,
someone's trying to tag him.
No, too bad. Jeffrey already blocked me, so that's not gonna work.
He's in here though.
Yeah, so you went crazy and you were moving to Tennessee, but what kind of person that's so afraid of for his life from a stalker would actually go out of his way to scope out and do like a house viewing for his stalker? If that makes any sense to anybody, if you would actually go out of your way to find a house for your stalker to live in, press 1 in the chat. If you'd be afraid of your stalker, or if you actually legit had a stalker, would you actually go out of your way to, like, buy them groceries or go find them a place to live?
Didn't buy me groceries, but the bottom line is, Phil, is that everybody's only heard one side of the story, his side of the story. I mean, I went live with you a couple months ago, but it's advanced at this point. It's progressed, and the truth of the matter is that there was a relationship. I mean, if anybody wants to correct me, but talking to someone every single day of the opposite sex, you both have an attraction to each other. Hold on. Going to visit him 4 times, in the course of 9 months, and then moving there. But at the end of the day, everything that I am saying, I have proof. And if anything that I say tonight is false, he is welcome and free to sue me for defamation. I will be suing him for defamation. And when I do, I will be subpoenaing my cell phone carrier, his cell phone carrier, Apple, because we both have iPhones, and Instagram.
Emails? Did he ever send him emails?
He sent me emails of some houses, so I can subpoena Google, Gmail as well. I'll subpoena every place that we've had communication, even Facebook. I think we might have talked there once. But at this point, like it's gone too far. This isn't a reality TV show. You know what I mean? Like, this is real life. This is my life. And he put my mom's name out there. You know, like, I was gonna let it go and it was just in my name. But when he brought my mother into it, my mother has nothing to do with this. The bottom line is my mother messaged Varia, not Jeffrey, after all this was over, without my knowledge, and told her what had been going on, and essentially warned her what she was in. And Varia immediately gave it to Jeffrey, because I was contacted immediately by a friend of Jeffrey's asking me if, and this was in February, March, when they were in Colorado. She gave it to Jeffrey, and then she blocked my mother, and that was that, you know. And now he's using that as, you know, to hurt my mother in a huge, like, my mother was just trying to be, like, caring about Varia, you know what I mean? Like, the message wasn't mean, the message wasn't cruel, the message was like, you know, like, protect yourself. You're in something not good. So it was out of loving and kind concern that she contacted her. So leave my mom out of this, you know. But at this point, I'll say, because I know he's in here, and if he's not, someone is telling him that if I am not telling the truth, if he sticks firm that he is telling the truth and I am lying, while I say I am telling the truth and he is lying, and if I don't have proof, then give me permission to publish our communications, excluding sexually explicit stuff or any incriminating things, and give me permission to publish them. Because
that's your challenge right now, is if
not a challenge. It's a let's end this thing. You know what I mean? Let's end this thing.
Let's put it all out there. Let's put all the cards out on the table. Let everybody know what the truth is, right? Exactly.
And it's like, at the end of the day, like, what does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter if you, you know, essentially take a step back and realize, you know, like, I made a mistake, whatever, I'm gonna tell the truth that this is not true. She was not stalking me. Everything, he's a legend driving by his house. All that kind of stuff. Like, so if I am lying, then give me permission to publish the conversations that I don't have, because he's saying that it did not happen. So, can't hear you. What was that? You're like, can anybody else hear him? Hi, everybody.
How about now?
There you go.
Better?
I'm just scrolling up in the comments. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, so that is my
Um,
is that if he is telling, if he's firm in what he is saying, then give me permission to publicize what doesn't exist.
did you move to Tennessee to stalk Big Jeff?
I did not. I applied to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. They have, as he told everybody, I am in social work school, and they have an amazing social work program. And they also have, which I love, they have a veterinary social work track. And okay, bye.
I needed to sneeze like really bad, and I don't want to. Yeah, just
So yeah, they have a veterinary social work program, which really interests me. And like, it's a coincidence that it's the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and he happens to live in Knoxville. Like, I didn't plan that. I didn't put the veterinary social work program in there. I applied again. If I am lying, then I mean, listen. I can publish that now. I mean, I got denied. I won't, lie to anybody. So I can publish my denial letter. So that's not, again, false.
how long did you live in Tennessee?
They gave me a 3-month lease on my house, and I only ended up staying 6 weeks. I left on March 15th of this year.
March 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey said that he was filing for a restraining order because he filed a police report on you for stalking. Is there any veracity to any of that you want to speak on?
So I did check the other day to see if it was true or not, and he did. I don't. I guess he filed it for harassment, and I don't want to get into what it says because it's beyond. It's gross. It's like, it makes my stomach turn. It's really straight out of like a Lifetime movie, but I don't want to plant those ideas in people's head because, like, once was I in love with him or what? It wasn't love. It was a mind effing, Anyway, I don't even remember, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so
About the police report. So
sorry, I'm like flustered.
there,
So he filed it, and like I said, I don't want to say what was in there because it's all false.
Okay.
And
We
again,
can't go into this, like some of the topic, like, I don't know how to say it. The very brief details. Okay, so when did he file his police report?
it was filed on April 29th of 2021.
When did he go on a live stream praising my account being taken down and also doxing you multiple times? Do you remember around that date?
I think it was April 23rd.
Okay. Where were you living on April 23rd?
Not in Tennessee.
So you were stalking him. You were driving from Florida to Tennessee to follow him around in Tennessee, and you're already 6 weeks gone from Tennessee.
I will
Or
say
I think
this.
it was more than that, wasn't it? It was no. I think
Six weeks and a day. But I will say this, that he did allege in there that he filed on April 29th of 2021. He alleges that I had been stalking him for the previous 2 months. So if in fact I was stalking him, I really was only doing it for 2 weeks because I was gone. I could have only do it for 2 weeks. So I mean, that right there just lets you know that.
Were you contacted by anybody?
No.
To let you know that you were alleged to be a stalker?
No, he gave them wrong contact information for me. He gave them my
that's
Maryland
convenient.
He gave them my Maryland address and no phone number. So essentially what happens is they can't contact me, so they close the report, and therefore that report will always exist now. I called the sheriff's office and asked if I could contest it and give my side, and and they told me that, since I live down here, it wouldn't matter or do anything. And I asked, can I do anything to get this, removed? And they said no. It's there forever, and what is in there is there forever. So essentially what I'm doing here is clearing my name of that, and that is what I'll do in the defamation suit as well. So it is on record. If anybody is to happen to pull that up, they can pull this up as well, that up as well, my suit. So but yeah, he alleges some pretty vile things. Oh, I don't Aruba at all. I promise you. I just need to handle this.
So now that brief timeline period when you moved to Tennessee, then you moved right out like 6 weeks later, and then you had that whole period of time that went on. April, I guess, is when the Truth page comes out. He gets pissed about that, gets my account and I think one or two other people shut down. They go on a live stream party that celebrating my account being taken out. Well, great, but then start doxing you over and over and over again, forcefully, not just like, oh yeah, that's Shelby. No, Shelby Barr is my stalker. Just wanted to let you all know the thousands of people watching you.
Yes.
Watching me right now. Yeah.
I'm actually looking up the definition of doxing because multiple people have said that.
Well, I mean,
this is so he is people. Multiple people have commented, I believe, on the lot or said in the lot, whatever, that he doxed me, and he says, look up the definition of doxing. I did no such thing. Well, the definition of doxing is search for and publish private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent.
Well, for you, okay, your first and last name is not doxing because we knew that well in advance.
Sure.
However, there were certain key components of your life that was put out there publicly. It might not have been on a live stream, but it was put out there, via social media. And now throwing your mother into this mix, if you start putting, family members together and kind of like you're putting like different notes together to build a profile on that person, now you have a way to search and find, all the personal information on them. Now you know the person's mother. So if you want to look them up, easy. So just want to make this clear also. When he alleges that you were just, a crazed stalker, do you feel that your, I guess, I don't even know if that'd be considered a relationship with him, but was that consensual? Like everything that you had going with him, was that a consensual reciprocal relationship, whatever it was?
Yeah.
So this wasn't like a fly by night thing where you saw him on TV and then you started driving past his house.
It is doxing, subtle. Right. Like basically what he's making me out to be is, because anybody who's been following him since the beginning has to remember me in his lives and his comments. I mean, I know people remember me specifically for being very cruel to them. Last time when we did this.
I know the meme page that discovered that you were at his house.
Exactly.
And that was Couchgate, when they figured out that the same couch was on several different photos of Jeffrey. And
that was wild. That was probably the wildest thing.
Yeah.
But, and I had no idea. Like he always told me, make sure that I don't have any identifying things in anything that I post while I'm there of his house. You know what I mean? That people would know. And so I took that picture on the couch, and later that night we're going to bed, and like my phone is going wild because I'm getting all these follow requests. I'm like, what is going on? And I think he found it first. And, you know, it was ugly at first. People were not nice. You know, I had overdone my lips, and I'll admit that. And people were just ripping me to shreds. And then I started ripping people to shreds back. And I continue to do that. And a lot of people got hurt.
If anybody was here last year during lockdown, you'll know who Shelby is, especially if you were dealing with Jeffrey. She was one of his pit bulls, along with a couple other people.
And if there's anybody in here that I have not talked to, that I was mean to or cruel to, I apologize again. Like, truly, truly apologize. I was not myself. You know, a lot of stuff going on. Pandemic, you know, relationship with him, long distance. You know, I was alone in my house essentially for a year, outside of the times I visited him and the few times I visited my parents. So I was not well. Yeah, I mean, he's basically that I was that, you know what I mean? Like, totally involved in defending him and all of that. And that I essentially took it, you know, too far by, you know, making an advance at him. And he denied me. And then I did, you know, a 180 and became a stalker, a psycho stalker.
Yeah, because people that just drive past your house just randomly throw phone numbers in your mailbox, and you get that phone number, right? And
yeah, I mean
he for whatever reason, he's building this stalker case into like a 1990s style stalker case where people don't have cell phones and can't like figure this shit out. We don't have like data collection like modern day.
I'll also say that he has surveillance in the front of his house 24/7 on that gate that he's alleged in front of it on the road. So if any of this did in fact happen, he has surveillance for a reason. Don't you think he would have grabbed the tape?
Don't delete that footage. We're gonna need that soon, right?
I mean, you know, so again, I'll say to him, if I'm lying, produce the footage. You know, like, I give you permission to publish, you know, a video of me on your surveillance camera if in fact you have one of me outside of your gate and driving by in my car. And I will not say what kind of car I have because, well, he knows what kind of car I have. But, you know, yeah, exactly the same thing that I am saying. If I am lying and he's telling the truth, then verbally say, Shelby, I give you permission to publish text conversation or any conversation, communication between us, excluding sexually explicit or incriminating things. Yeah, just say those words. Type those words to me. Say those words on a live. Anything. If I am lying and those things do not exist, because then I can't produce them, right? Then I can't publish them because I don't have them.
Look at that.
Let's end this.
Look at the comment I just pinned.
Oh.
He probably scrubbed his phone of all
Stop
the
it, you're
messages.
on fire tonight. But yeah, I mean, let's end this. You know what I mean? Like, if he wants to continue on in the 90-day fiance world, which for me is the sickest world that I've probably ever been in.
They're crazy. This is why I don't even want to be on here anymore. It's like they're crazy.
I mean, I'll never, like, after this, I'm done. I will take the action that I need to take. But I am not, you know, discussing it anymore. I don't want to be involved in it anymore. Like, I have moved on with my life, and like, I want to put this past me, you know, and he should do the same. And at the end of the day, like, why does he need to create this narrative that he has a stalker? Like, does he not feel desirable enough on his own? Like, does he need to create this narrative to his fans that he's a victim of a single white female stalker and he's scared of me to, you know, like essentially I mean, that's just what I'll say. Like, why this narrative, you know, that I'm stalking him? Like, there's a certain reaction that is invoked by that type of narrative, and it's exactly what's happening. If you read in the comments, it is all, you know, take care of yourself, be safe.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry you're going through this.
So sorry this is happening to you. I'm sorry you have to live in fear. And like, I'm like, listen, people are legitimately concerned because they believe him, you know, and I understand. I truly understand. Like, I don't blame these people for, you know, their compassion and their empathy and their sympathy. They believe him that this is happening. But like, let's stop this, because people like get on Instagram and, you know, follow people and watch lives because it's like an escape from, you know, their lives. You know, listen, that's why I do it too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, like, I never wanted to be on the show. I don't want this publicity, you know, like, I don't want this. And I gained, you know, an Instagram following because of the couch photo. And then, you know, after that, it just happened. And he's alleging that I've bought followers, but the truth of the matter is he keeps sending them my way. You know, after his live the other night, my follow requests went crazy. So like, I don't need to buy followers. He's doing it for me. Like, he doesn't realize what he's doing and, you know, alleging and all that kind of stuff. Like, I want to be on the show and I want to be famous and this, that, and the other. I'm not doing that. He's creating that for me. My impressions last week were, you know, 30,000 for a nothing account. I don't even post stuff. So I don't want this attention, but like, but the truth is I've met some extremely nice people. But I've had some really nasty people in my DMs too. And like, I block them immediately. Like, I don't even engage, but you know, he's gone on lives before and said how hard it has been for him to get cruel, negative DMs from people. And here he is. I said this last time in his comments. If anybody says anything that is remotely negative or, you know, not in favor of him, he goes and, you know, if they have a public account, he'll go and like go on their Instagram and find something to make fun of them for in a vicious way. Like, not even like, it's not just like surface level joking. It's like hit below the belt, you know, I've had people come to me and tell me like they've been really affected. I mean, it's not funny. They've been really affected by stuff that he said to them. And like, I get it. Like, okay, they shouldn't have, you know, like, if you give negativity, you're going to get negativity in return, but don't do that and then tell people how hard it's been for you to get, you know, nasty messages from people. I know how hard it is, and I've only gotten a couple, you know, and they're not horrible, but I've gotten more people that have come to me and said that they have been following him, and when he did that live, it completely changed their opinion of him. Like, loyal followers.
I mean, if you weren't privy to any of this information that we're talking about or what we talked about previously, and you saw that live, it's really disturbing. Like, I mean, if you put that video for anybody to watch it that never watch a show, they would probably think it's just like any normal person that I associate with, at least, would think it's disturbing. But then there's a common like type of people that kind of like just go with whatever he says and just I'm sorry you're going through this. You know, they just kind of like buy into the whole shenanigans, and it's just kind of stupid to me.
I mean, I'm also doing this because, I mean, I need to do this for myself, but I'm also doing it because there's a lot of other women that he's done this to. And
wait until we hear some of those. I'm sure that's going to come at some point.
And you know, as women, we live in a society where men, and I'm not turning this like political, but where men do things to women and they're just supposed to retreat and hide, you know, and if I hide, then what message am I sending? So, I'm not going to hide. I am going to speak my truth, and I will. At this point, I will prove it. And listen, my life is full. You know, like I work. Um, he said in one of the comments that maybe she should start with getting a job. I'm not even going to go there about him at this point, but
you don't need to.
But I don't want to be rude. I don't even want to say anything. Like, I should even take that back. I don't even want to say anything, negative about him, anything. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't know what his history is. I don't know, what he, what happened to him, over the course of the last 43 years. Like, I can be sympathetic to, people that are struggling with stuff and going through things. But also a lot of his followers are, I'm not even going to say.
Let's, I mean,
but I mean,
okay, look.
They believe who he is, and they believe this narrative, and they're so,
entranced,
swayed by him.
Yeah, he's like, he could be very believable, but when like people that are street smart, they know, they can see right through them. For people that's homemakers, like there's a common denominator, and I'll let just the people that watch this video just go over there and see all the comments from the people, and they can kind of understand what demographic falls for this shit. It's kind of funny in a way, and kind of sad in a way. Am I right, or am I wrong?
I mean, I don't want to categorize his fans, but or his followers, but there's a following that he has. If anybody follows him, you'll notice the same people that comment the same sort of things, and he's he's spoken about them on live.
Even new ones meet the same demographic, though. Even the new followers meet the same demographic, and now we have almost a whole continent that's being open to the franchise, and they're not even aware of any of this the previous charges or the violent behavior and stuff like that. So that's
hold on, Chronic, he does not have a basement, so it's not there. But so a lot of people don't. Surprisingly, a lot of people, even people that I think have been following for a while, weren't aware of what's currently going on. And I think it's because when everything was really, firing off on Instagram about this, it was right at the beginning of the season, if not before it even aired. And so there wasn't a lot of people tuned in. And then it kind of, died down because with COVID and everything, it kept getting postponed. So like a lot of people just, forgot about it for a while. And then, like I said, it was actually, his trial was supposed to begin today, but it got postponed. And the reasons why he said it got postponed in his live are false. If you watch the live, you'll see that in the beginning he gives one reason, that there's another trial happening and he got bumped. And then later in the live, he gives a different reason and says that witnesses need to be scheduled, and that's why it got postponed. But neither reason is the truth. And the reason why is not it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It got postponed.
But it got postponed. Okay, so I didn't want to go back to this, but I needed to, just because of relevancy.
Sure.
So I pulled up my video, my live stream from April 30th. I don't know if you remember that, but that was about a week after he went on that hate stream about, well, not really. They were celebrating my takedown and also doxing your name over and over and over again. There were text messages that he sent you, right? And he called you.
Actually, we didn't talk on the phone that much. Honestly, it was a lot. It was all text messages, voice memos, Instagram.
But so what I'm getting
that day. Yes.
The morning of April 30th, which is when my live stream happened. he started texting you, correct?
Yes. Well,
Okay,
he called me from a block number, and
but it was his voice, correct?
oh yeah,
All
instinctually
right,
I knew it was him.
all right. So here's what I'm getting at. There was a police report filed several days before, which cited that he didn't have your correct contact information.
Yes.
So that was what date? Do you know?
April 27th, he filed it.
Okay, so April 23rd was a Friday night. He got my, or he claims he didn't get it, but I know that he did, and this other girl, Amanda, um, they both did it. But he got it taken down. They celebrated. A couple days later, I guess he got worked up. Somebody must have gotten behind him, say, "Oh yeah, let's you got to make sure you document all this stuff. Put it on a police report that you got a crazy stalker, blah blah blah. Put all this shit down, but also make sure to put all the wrong contact information. But before she goes live on a Friday evening, make sure to contact her nonstop and harass her to the point that she does not do that live stream."
Well, let me clarify. He didn't contact me. He called me once, and he said, call it a threat. Don't call it a threat. He basically said that
But
if I went
somebody else
live
called
with
you too, right? Somebody else called you on his behalf as well, right? Or,
no, I don't think so. They may have messaged me like earlier in that week and said, if you do
okay.
this or whatever,
All right,
you need to cut it out because he's going to press charges, or whatever.
I thought it was a little bit different, but okay, I must have been mistaken.
But that day he calls me and says, if you go live and reveal any more information, I will go to the police. I will press charges against you. Basically that. Well, he had already gone to the police, but he would press charges against me. And so I said to him, try me. And I hung the phone up. And then we had a text exchange that I said, press charges against me. I'll press charges against you for doxing. And he said, I didn't dox you. But, I just read the legal definition of doxing. So he did. And he says he's inseminating, is that the word? Information. Disseminating information.
Disseminating your information.
Okay. Yes. So, I mean, a court of law can decide if it was doxing.
Yeah, so this is exactly the point I wanted to get to is
Scorpios. Well, let me say this, like Scorpio just said. If in fact I have been stalking him to the extent that he says I have, and in this police report, let me tell you, he alleges that I go to NC-17 level stalking stuff. You know what I mean? I've never single weight, crazy stuff. So if I'm doing that or have done that, why would you poke at it? You know what I mean? Why? Victims don't do that. Victims don't instigate.
And that's exactly where I was going to get at with that particular week. That 1 week, 7 days alone from Friday to Friday is very key because there was, when they took down my account because I was, I had promoted your page. Then he doxed you over and over again. I don't know if anything happened over the weekend or what, but a couple of days later, police reports filed. All this salacious shit is put in there. Wrong contact information, so you couldn't even contest it if you wanted to. And then a couple of days later, I guess him being afraid that you were going to come out and spill the beans, goes ahead and contacts his alleged stalker and threatens his alleged stalker that if she does this, he's going to do that, tit for tat. Yeah. So,
but he didn't have my phone number to give the officer, but he had my phone number to call me that morning. Yes. Yes. I have those text messages as well from that date, and subpoenaing the records will verify that they're real as well. Because I imagine he will say that anything that I produce is fabricated. And I mean, I'm happy to take a video of me scrolling through our text thread, because I mean, that takes dedication for me to have one phone and another phone and be texting myself back and forth to create a dialogue between me and the person I'm stalking to make it look, you know what I mean? Like, I would have had to be doing it for months and months and months and months. And he will say that I have, but again,
can you do us a favor? Can you show us the collage on your wall with all the cutout photos of him glued?
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Listen,
do you have?
I'm that's sacred. You know, I don't show anybody my shit.
Okay, so all right, so that's in a room with a red light. There's no actual like bright lights, white lights, or anything.
Yeah,
it's a red light.
There's constantly sage burning. You know, there's soothing, and there's Enya playing over the thing. Yeah.
You have a dartboard. Is there a photo of him on a dartboard where you throw darts?
No. I mean, the truth is that, people are asking if I was in love with him or it was infatuation, and I have a history of being in, I was in a domestic violent relationship for 3 years. So listen, my picker's not great. And for me, men that are, being charged with something or have a history of whatever, to me are like, people that I have to fix or whatever. And listen, after this, I have been cured of this. I can tell you that. I'm absolutely terrified to even date anybody at this point, because I don't want, a bad experience. But was it love? No, I've been in love. It was like, I don't even know what to call it. I was just totally like, blindsided and, like whatever, not blindsided.
Look, I'm not going to make excuses for you, but last year was lockdown.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of us did a lot of things that we did out of boredom. And we kind of missed the social, I guess, life and going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I came out of the lockdown, because I went from lockdown, like I said, I had a roommate who lived in my basement, but she lived with her fiance. So we saw each other like, a little bit during the day, but it was like I had my floor, she had hers. And I've had that before, lovely, for sure. But yeah, it was like the idea of it for sure. And I came out of it, like horrible. And I went straight to Tennessee. So I went from lockdown to a house in Tennessee where I essentially knew nobody. And when I got there, things between us ended because, I'm not even gonna I don't even want to
No, you don't have to rehash that.
Whoever was living with him, and then I couldn't move to where I am now for 6 weeks because I have 3 dogs, and it's really hard to find a place to rent that'll take 3 dogs, has a yard, and all of that. And it took a while before we could find a place here, and so I had to stay there in Tennessee for 6 weeks, and I literally did not leave my house there either, because where was I going to go? I didn't know anybody, and I was friends with, one of his friends before I got there, and I was friends with, someone else that was on the show that's his friend. I don't even want to say names. And we were friends in the beginning, like one night this person went live, they brought me on, and, they told me to go look outside my front door, and there were flowers on the front thing, from her. And then when all this happened, it just bled into those friendships, and it's fine. I would have ended them anyway, just because it wouldn't be appropriate to remain friends with an ex, and an ex of this, caliber and stuff like that. But so I stayed in my house for 6 weeks in Tennessee, and not only was I stuck in my house, but I was like at a red line level of fear, you know? Like I was alone. I literally knew nobody. So it wasn't like Maryland, because Maryland, I knew I had friends like in the area. And after things ended with us really negatively, I won't, I'm not going to say that I was afraid he was going to come and hurt me, but like the truth is that what he's out on bail for, you have to take that into account, whether you believe, you know, it happened or not. And I do, because well, it doesn't matter. But anyway, you have to, you can't like not consider that. So, and I have anxiety anyway, so it just went crazy, and I was hyper vigilant all the time. So I went from COVID to that. And then when I got where I am now, it took me, I've been here 5 months. It probably took me a good 3 to like.
Yeah, I mean, wintertime in the mountains is pretty, I mean, lonely.
Yeah.
And you know, the mountains of Tennessee, Georgia, I mean, it's cold, and you know, sometimes it's miserable days. If you don't know anybody, it's really boring.
Yeah, it's quiet too. Like I'm used to, I lived right on like a major street in Baltimore, and moving to Tennessee, there's no noise. You know what I mean? Like it's just quiet and silent. So it just, even looking, like thinking back on that, it just,
Yeah.
like I said, I was in a domestic violent relationship, and this relationship has traumatized me more than that, in like a different way. In that relationship, at least I knew what was coming. You know what I mean? Like he was the same, you know, every single day. So I knew what to expect. With this, I have no idea what's going to happen next. You know, when that live was going on last Saturday night, you know, he started off by, you know, I just wanted to say hi and this, that, and the other. And then he goes into the narrative about me. And I'm watching this, and, you know, at first, like it didn't really faze me. I just was like, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
But then it kept going and it kept going. And then my mother's name came in, and that's when like my stomach dropped, and I messaged you freaking out, if you remember, and told you to get in there and listen to what was happening, because you have, you know, a lot, you get a bad rap, you know, on Instagram by a lot of people. And you know, I am here to say that in the last few months, you have been extremely supportive, extremely helpful, and you have not helped me in a way that is, you know, like wrong or anything. You have shared things to help me get my truth out there, and you have been supportive behind the scenes as well. So I know you get people shit all over you, and they report your page.
It comes with the fan base. We have to understand.
But it's wild, you know? I've never seen. Crazy. I mean, they're creating Instagram pages and posting your address, your wife's picture, your daughter's picture. Like it's
nonstop.
This is beyond, like, this is a reality TV show. You know what I mean? And people are behaving like, I mean, I don't even know what. Like I can't even put a name on what is going on. Like the YouTube wars between people, and then putting people's personal, I mean, it even happens to, you know, someone that we're not a fan of. And the truth is that I'm an empath, and I have empathy for people when they're going through something. And I felt bad for him when they were posting pictures of his mother and his address and all of this stuff, because it puts people in danger. There are people that follow the show and follow every show and follow, you know, celebrities and reality, you know, personalities. I won't even say stars. And they believe that they're like their friends, you know, and that they need to like act on them and stuff. Like I'm not even so much afraid